Right everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now today I've got a very exciting golf product in my hand that has been talked about a lot on social media and maybe the best golf product of 2021. So in my hand I have none other than the Garmin R10 portable launch monitor. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about this. This provides a lot of data but for a fraction of the price in comparison to some other premium products. You've got Trackman, you've got SkyTrak, you've got a lot of others, but they usually come at a few £1,000s. The price tag of this one right here, pretty competitive. That comes under the Rapsodo, but this actually offers, I think, a lot more, and it is a lot sleeker and easier to set up. What I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna test it out here at the range at Manning's Heath Golf and Wine Estate and see if it is worth the money. Before I get into it, this thing is small, very, very small. There's a reason it is portable. It is about the size of a mobile phone if you're putting the tripod for it as well, which means you can take it literally anywhere. It's the perfect product to use on the range and even out on the course if you want to get some numbers. At this price and the size of it as well, it's going to be a very interesting test. So let's put it down, let's set it up and see what numbers I get. Right, so as you can see, I've got it set up already on this little tripod. Literally takes 10 seconds to take it out of the very small box and set it up there. What you then have to do is go on the Garmin Connect app. Now, what I would recommend if you guys are purchasing this, before you go to the range, get it set up beforehand, because a lot of driving ranges, especially in the UK, are in the middle of nowhere, and having no data, well, it hinders it a lot, especially if you don't update your apps, because the Golf Sim is obviously a new part of the Garmin Connect. But the very simple feature, once you have got it updated, is you just add a device, connect it to it, it pairs up very simply if you turn it on, and then you're ready to go. Now, once you're ready to go, there are a few features that you can see, or a few game modes on the app, on the Garmin Connect app. You've got the Home Tee Hero, Driving Range, Weekly Tournament, and the True Golf E6 Connect. Now, I'm not going to use the Weekly Tournament or the True Golf E6 Connect, but you can see if I click on the True Golf E6 Connect, it says here, view all your Garmin launch monitor shots in vivid detail using your E6 Connect software. This is external to the Garmin app itself, does cost a significant amount more money, and that's something that I would recommend if you guys are using an indoor launch monitor, making your own home sim, because it costs a lot more, but the graphics are far superior to the ones that are on the Garmin app. Going back off this, we can see we've got Home Tee Hero and Driving Range. Now, Home Tee Hero does cost about £8–9 a month, but with 42,000 courses, it's a lot of fun, and I'll get into that very shortly. But let's go into Driving Range. You can see here, virtual driving range, your track detail statistics and analysis. And you can see just on the app that the graphics aren't that of a Trackman. So if you guys were expecting that, first of all, I don't think you've done your research, because it's not a Trackman. It's a little bit simpler, but the main thing here is the actual data that we get from it. So you can see it says total distance, carry distance, and deviation. Well, there's a lot more. So let's put the phone down. You can see here there's a little line on the Garmin device if you are confused as to how to set it up, and you want to get it between around 4 to 8 foot away. If you are on a driving range that is not the straightest surface, I would recommend just trying to get the straightest surface possible, because it will impact it a little bit. I've kind of moved around here and got the straightest surface that I could find, so hopefully it should get pretty accurate yardages. I have used it a bit before, so I'm hoping it does well. There's a little flashing button that I can see here. If it's green, it's perfect, which it is. So I'll hit a shot and see what numbers I get. There we go. Looking at that, that is the most accurate one I've had so far, actually. I hit it a little bit out of the heel, and the flight is exactly the flight that I hit on the range with this range ball, going about 180 yards and going out to 188. Now, you may be disappointed thinking, Alex, where is the other data? Well, don't worry about it. You can see here, there's plenty more. There's a driver as the actual graphic. That's because of me, as I haven't changed to a 6-iron. Doesn't actually impact the picture here in terms of the data that you get. But you can see here, the one thing that I will mention is the club path. You can see it says it's going 8.9 degrees left. Now, I think that's because if it's not completely straight with this red line here, it is going to impact it a little bit. But everything else is exactly spot on. In terms of the backspin, side spin, that is as accurate as I would think any other launch monitor. I'm really impressed by this, but one thing I want to work out here as well, so I'm using range balls, a one-piece range ball, nothing fancy. I'm gonna go grab a actual premium ball and see if it changes the actual data that I get, because I think it may do. So I did a bit of difficulty there actually getting it aligned up. That is partly down to it not being on a flat surface, so that is really important with this thing, and that's actually really important with literally every single launch monitor that you do purchase, so that's not a negative. Let's now hit this premium ball, see if I can notice a difference. I would expect it to be going about maybe 200 or so if I hit it well. Yep, spot on that one. So you can see there, 202, so a big increase in terms of a comparison to a range ball. Very good numbers, and I did hit a draw. So I have seen some reviews saying that the flight itself isn't that accurate, but pretty spot on. And some really good numbers, enough numbers for you to work with over summer. See the backspin in 4,900, it's exactly the backspin it should be, because I was using a Callaway Warbird there, so it wasn't gonna spin at all. So that's pretty impressive there. I'm very impressed with that, because you would think maybe with the launch monitor that is that lower price bracket, you would have some hiccups. And yes, and maybe it not working on the flatter surface. Someone could say that's a bit frustrating, but that's gonna be the case with every single launch monitor you use. Let's go out of this for now. And now let's end the session and go to the other feature that I want to talk about here, and that is the Home Tee Hero. You can see here it's got virtual rounds at one of the world's greatest golf courses, 42,000 golf courses, and this really does make it a lot of fun to play with your mates or even by yourself if you want to practice. So if I press play now, I've already got my recently played, and that is Manning's Heath. I can go onto this, myself as a player, go on the men's tee, and I can even put chip shots. I'm not going to because I'm bad at chipping, but you can go on that wind condition and you have your own little game here. And I'm playing the waterfall course. I've already done this, and I can say it is extremely accurate and a lot of fun to play. At 323 yards, you can aim it up wherever you want to go, and from there you can be like, okay, if you're using range balls, you have to factor it in. But you can go up to it and say, okay, I'm going to try and hit it this certain yardage. Make sure that the light is green, which mine is now, and then try and hit a certain shot. Once you've hit a shot, you can see is it going towards the fairway? Yes, it is. That's the first for me. And it's going to go up to about 192, 195 yards, and then I would hit my second shot. This just makes this launch monitor a little bit more multifunctional, because you've got those Trackmans and you've got those GC Quads that are solely for data. Now, this one isn't about that. This one isn't just about data, because we already have those. This is for those players who want to practice, want to get data, want to be able to improve, but also want to have fun. And that's why there isn't just that driving range feature. We've got the Home Team Hero, we've got those weekly competitions, because Garmin are pushing you to not just play by yourself, to play with your mates. Have a little bit more fun with it, and not just focus on your RPM, your swing speed, your ball speed. It's to actually play inside or outside and have a bit more of a social aspect, which, comparing it to other launch monitors, it's pretty impressive. I know Trackman have it, but for 20K, I mean, not a lot of people can afford that. I'm gonna go back now to the driving range feature, because I mean, you guys could probably watch me play on the Home Team Hero for hours. I could do it myself, but I want to test out the driver, because I have heard that, and I think for a lot of launch monitors, getting that higher swing speed, that higher ball speed, is where it becomes a little bit inaccurate. So far, from anything from 0 to 200 yards, it gets it down to a T. But let's now see if it can get the driver yardages completely correct. I've got no clue what it's going to get here with these one-piece range balls. I'm not expecting massive distances, but let's put it to the test. All right, let's do drivers. I've already actually hit a few just to make sure that it was lining up correctly and everything. And what is important here is you make sure you know where you're aiming in alignment with the Garmin itself. If you're aiming not where the red line is, and then you hit it where you're aiming, it's going to look like you've blocked it way right or pulled it way left. So let's see how accurate it is with range balls first, and let's just hit a few other premium balls. Now with range balls, I'll probably think of about a 20-yard loss of distance. Let's see. Ooh, so that was a low tug left. Let's see if it picked that one up. It did, and I would say that's pretty accurate there. God, I almost don't want to show you this. 250 carry, then rolls out to 273, but again, that is spot on for the actual flight of it. Spin a little bit high, but with that one-piece compression ball, I think that's pretty accurate. Launch angle, because of how low that went, yep, spot on as well. Let's hit one more, try and hit it a little bit better, and move on to some better golf balls. I'm very impressed. I thought this would be a little bit all over the place, but from just a base, from what I think my numbers are with this driver, I would say they are as accurate as they should be. All right, that was good. That was really good. It picked you up. It has, interestingly enough, that one's saying it went way, way left. Now that did not go way left. That was pretty much dead on for how straight it is. So although the deviation is definitely wrong, I would say those numbers apart from that do look pretty correct. Now, is that a bad thing? Well, if you're playing a game like Home Team Hero, I would be quite disappointed because you didn't hit it 70 yards left. But with those faster swing speeds, there's always going to be some problems with it. I mean, I'm just starting to use this. After a while, I'm going to get used to it a little bit more. So it just needs me to use the device a little bit more and get a better understanding of it. Let's now move on to some better golf balls, some premium golf balls, and see if I can get that number up a little bit, because 260 carry and 280 total, I don't think that's correct for me, but it's because I'm using some pretty atrocious golf balls. So let's get some better golf balls. Okay, I got one premium golf ball left here. I'm hoping it's not the best golf ball, so we'll see if I can get it to 300. Oh God, I love this driver. Where'd that go? There we go, there we go. And that is exactly where it went. Deviation of 8 yards left, yeah, more or less. 293 carry and 309 total. With the spin, yeah, exactly where I thought it would be. 2,700 for a golf ball that's not a TP5 or a Chrome Soft. The launch angle being 10.1 degrees, really happy with that. And overall, just a really nice shot there. That's very impressive, and that kind of leads me to think, I guess if you're playing an actual game, one that is Home Team Hero or something, you'd probably want to use a golf ball that's a little bit better than a one-piece golf ball, just because you're then a bit more fine-tuned to know your yardages. If I, let's say, was using these golf balls and playing Home Team Hero, I'd have absolutely no idea where my balls were going to go. And with that, it seems that it may understand some premium golf balls a little bit better. This may be a little bit difficult for some people, but this product is made for practicing. It's not made for anything else. So I would recommend using some decent golf balls for it, because it will get some better actual statistics. Let's hit a few more shots, then give my final thoughts. Right guys, so final thoughts on the Garmin R10 launch monitor. So from our initial testing, we've tested this now for about, I'd say 3 to 4 hours. And first of all, battery life, very, very good. It's up to 10 hours, and a hot day like today, 28 degrees, we're absolutely sweltering out here. It's lasted very long. I've got about 50 to 40% left, which is pretty decent for testing the array of features. The accuracy is something that everyone wants to ask about. Look, it is what it is. Is it going to be as accurate as a Trackman? Well, a lot of people may say no, and I'm going to test that out very, very soon. But for what it's made for the practicing for amateur golfers, it's exactly what you want, because I do think it is accurate within, let's say, plus or minus 2 to 3 yards for the irons, and then driver, let's say 4 or 5 yards. I'll make sure this statement is correct later on. But for someone who wants to practice, even in the summer, but in the winter, trying to just get out on the course when your course is snowed in, if it's too wet, this is the exact thing I'd want to try out, because first of all, it's very, very easy to set up. It's not something, let's say the Rapsodo was a little bit difficult to set up every single time. With this, you just plonk it down on a flat surface and you're good to go. And the ease of use with the app too is very good. I've said the graphics aren't great, but it doesn't really matter if it's still going where you think it is. And it probably would be a little bit nicer as well if you were using it on an iPad. I was using it on my phone today. A bit wider of a screen would just improve that quality a little bit better. If you think this is going to be as good as a Trackman, as a GC Quad, you may be a little bit naive, because those things cost £20,000, £10,000 for an actual reason. This thing, at the price bracket of what it is exceptional value for money in comparison, because you're still getting very good numbers, having a lot of fun for us amateur golfers, and the longevity is going to last a very long time. I'm not going to expect any professional golfers really to be using this, but for us amateur golfers, for the consumers, it's spot on. So this definitely, for us here at GolfMagic, ranks as one of the best golf products of 2021, because it's so easy to use, and if you are into your data, it will improve your game. Nevertheless, this is not the last video I'm going to do on this device, and I'm sure you guys are very happy for me to say that, because this is one of those devices where I can do some comparisons. And we've got some SkyTrak products, some Trackman products, and some GC Quad products that we can test, which means that we can really see how good this is in terms of the premium products. We can see if it has the same exact data as Trackman, we can see if it's as good as the SkyTrak, all the ones that are similar and also a lot higher in those price ranges. So Stay tuned for those in the next coming months. Let me know what you guys think of the Garmin R10. I've seen a lot of very positive reviews and they really are flying off the shelf. But let me know down in the comments what you think about this, because I do think Garmin have really cracked it with this portable launch monitor and there could be some really nice things to come. If you guys are new to the GolfMagic YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button down below to keep up to date with all of our videos, from equipment reviews, challenges, comparisons, you name it, we've got it to keep you entertained for all of 2021. I'll see you guys at the next video.